Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for Thursday, week 7, day 4. It is February 16th. We are in the second half of the month of 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with, that's right, your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what is going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, guys, you know what the story has been. We are, let's see, 9 days, right? 5 last week, 4 this week. That puts us at 6 out of the 9 days. We have been uptrend, and, yep, 3 last week, 3 this week, record high, record high, record high. And there we are with a flat market today. And the reason I say flat, that's right, indices pulling back downside, but we closed out pretty much at the open, only within a couple ticks on the YM and the ES and the NQ there. And giving those perma bears a little bit of a nibble today, but that's all they got. VIX closing out 1176, a little bit downside. Core sector list 10 in the green, 15 in the red. A little bit of economic highlights today. We'll go over some of the numbers here, and let's just jump in first to the pre-market trend. As actually, let's go ahead. We just mentioned that. Take a look here at the economic highlights. Housing out, jobless, Philly Fed. Those were some red star events to look to today. Only news out there today is Trump coming on once again. POTUS Trump with a news conference taunting the media. Who knows what the market's looking for. Again, we continue to look for that catalyst. Funny thing is, you know, last weekend had this ridiculous dream that somehow the market was going to be all red this week. Well, I am colorblind, so I guess red means green, and green will now mean red in my dreams. But we've had this amazing run up, and you just go with the charts. You go with the trend. That's what you got to do. Leave the perma bears aside, watch what's in front of you, and remain in the trend. So right now, best scenario we had today was the fact that the 5144 cloud that we'll show you here in a little bit remained under the VWAP for pretty much most of the session. So any setup to the short had the highest probability. So pretty much finishing downside downtrend to flat, as we pretty much did close out downside through the session and near the open. So really not getting very far today. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the pre-market trend as we do each day here. Prior to the market opening, about 15 minutes to current price was 53.08 at the time of the trend that we were looking at, and there were our numbers: 53.17 up to 52. Downside, we're looking at 92, 73, and 34. Let's take a look at that picture there. There it was on the NQ, looking downside. Price action already 53.12 was the move. 53.12 was the move to the upside. That was holding resistance here. So 52.34 was the level that we would have been looking downside in the 60-minute. But the 15-minute chart giving us the closer time frame, looking at 52.92 and 52.73, and that's where exactly we came down to. That's pretty much where we held today, 52.92 on the NQ. So at least within the zone of our first major support resistance. Let's take a look at a post chart. Actually, there it is, NQ downside. Let's open that up. There we go. And so 52.92. Again, if you look at the two charts in comparison, we have major support resistance here, but like I say every day on the MML charts, these levels will reset themselves as time progresses. So what became major support resistance then became support, and so now price action held here and obviously finished out near major support resistance near the open as well. Hey guys, on the ES, looking downside, we were looking at 23.47 pre-market. We were looking at 23.52, 23.59 to the upside. Downside, 35, 28, and 13. Let's go ahead and take a look at the chart on the ES. It's price action downside today. There was our pre-market. A little bit of a pullback. Again, 23.51 holding the line. So we're looking downside at this point, 23.35.94. and then anything lower would have been all the way down to 23.28. And looking at the ES today, as that's exactly what we did. We ran all the way slightly downside, 23.39, not being really to get down to 28. So only a little bit of a smidgen of a move here on the ES as it found a little bit of support, but 23.39, again 23.39, and not bad. We weren't not down that far, 35, but a little bit of a pullback, which gave us an opportunity in the market. All right, let's take a look at some of the charts here. Again, let's go ahead and look at one chart I wanted to post here, as we do each day when we're looking at the screen share. Again, I caught this here this morning. Again, when markets tend to run all in the same direction. So sometime yesterday I showed you a screen share shot. Everything was in the green. Gold up, yen up, euro up, and the indices up. Well, you know, that just usually doesn't all run together. And here was a nice scenario. This morning on the 6E, price action for the euro, pretty much overnight session, plus the opening here just right after the U.S. Open. You have the euro running upside. You got the 51.44 above the cloud. And again, for those of you new to the daily trend here, what we're talking about here is price action running up or running down. Price action underneath the cloud, 51.44. And so, again, a VWAP not here, but actually the VWAP on this picture was running up above it. But here we go, the VWAP down below, price action finding support, cloud above, and you got your indices rolling down. So nice divergence, or actually what I like to see, if I got the indices downside, I like to see the euro going up. So I wanted to catch that picture for you guys here today. All right, ES today, that's right, ES downside, market open. There it was, the 51.44, holding below the VWAP. Yeah, you got a couple of bars upside. Maybe you've got yourself on the counter trend set up, but the big picture was downside. That was the core move on the ES here today, right to the euro close. Same thing here on the NQ, right to the euro close. Momentum is downside, giving you a couple of pockets of opportunity, both downside. A little bit, if you're out of this, you bailed out because you would have held on here, but 51.44 still remained for the most part until we got back downside. There it was, major move on the NQ, and we held for the most part throughout the rest of the session. PM chop on the NQ here, we could see really not going anymore, but momentum holding to the downside. Well, we obviously didn't hold there the whole time as the NQ pretty much finished out. There's your open, 53.06 down to 53.01. Not much of a range today. Taking a look at the YM. There she was. For the most part, pretty much downside in the AM session. And pretty much throughout the mid-session, and PM was flat until the end. Break above VWAP. Open, close. There you go. 603, 594. Not much of a move there. And wrapping it up on the ES, price action again to the downside. Here we go on the ES. Again, nice move in the morning session. Afternoon session, a little bit quiet. A little pocket here in the PM's mid-session here as it broke above the VWAP, but you don't have all things in sync there. That was the better move. You had a little pocket down here on the ES, but leaving the PM session go, not a bad move. All right, M6E, I did have a chart here, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the 6E here. So pretty much they lined up together. All right, daily gaps, guys. As I mentioned, every day on the three major indices, price action here, 52.32.50, 22.48, and 23.15.75. Those are their first nearest open gaps downside as market action just pretty much hangs here today at the highs. After a nice move down and back upside. As I said, open, we pretty much had a nice downtrend, but closing out near the opens. Eventually we'll come back and get those. We'll close them out. Good for the market, healthy for the market, but we're not there yet. Crude, again, not closing out anything here. We just barely, actually, I'll have to see if that was, nope, just by a smidgen, 52.67, open gap downside as the CL just seems to be holding within this zone here over the course of some major time here. Actually, I had a monthly chart up, a yearly chart up today, and we've since November really been doing some sideways action here. You can see for the most part December. All right, those are the daily gaps. Keep those in mind. Have them on your charts when market is finally pulling back. Make sure you line those up. that could be the end of the line for the day, or we could still keep going on. Downside from there, just watch the HA bars as we do in each session. AD lines, advancers decliner, 750 was the line in the sand today. YM pretty much holding on to 0, so not going anywhere. And S&P, a little bounce back below the 250, and not much to talk about here today. 45, negative 45. If you remember, what do I say? I say that's right. The normal zone, a normal trading day, zone range bound day, negative 45, usually up to 45. So there's our range for the most part on the NQ. So we really, once we didn't break that negative 45, we weren't really taking this down any lower. All right, let's jump into the charts here. Again, NQ, YM, and ES. We looked at those three charts. Let's take a look at the 6E, as I wanted to bring up the M6E. The M6E, a great opportunity for new traders who are wanting to get out of that sim trade and into some live trading session. Again, nice trending here as the yellow dots showing us price action in sync with the 534. That's the second horizontal bar here. And then the 5144 is the same thing as the cloud here. So you got two visuals here of price and trend. Again, big picture, guys. All upside today. We found support there to VWAP. We showed that picture here. There it was right there with the 6E rolling up overnight session with the indices moving downside there in the AM session. But 6E holding up. Nice move. All things in the green here. Holding above VWAP. Pullback. You're in. A little bit of a pullback through the European close and then back upside again. PM session, not a big fan of 6E in the PM session unless we get a lot of major market news to move all indices and all charts together. Taking a look at the yen. Again, same picture. We held up today as indices rolled back a little bit. Yen giving us a nice glow back. It's a little bit of chop there at the beginning of the session, but once we got going here on the pullback above Globex high, there was the move of the session, second move of the session right there on the 6J, Mr. Yen. Take a look at the GC. Again, very choppy today on the GC as overnight session, not really getting going. Again, overnight indices didn't get very far. A little bit of a pocket of opportunity here on the gold as she opened up here with the U.S. regular trading hours, only to come back to VWAP. So gold, a little bit of a rough go. Again, if you're not getting the price action that you like on the bars, you can always drop down to 6.3, see if it's a little smoother. Maybe on the 5.4, you can see, again, a lot more noise on the charts, but definitely maybe a little bit smoother. Again, TED 7 didn't get very far today on the GC. Crude, we finished upside, guys. Crude, after pulling back here in the mid-session, actually before European close again, so a nice move down on crude, only to bounce right back up, right through the VWAP, up to Globex high. So V reversal today, pretty much finishing out flat, in my humble opinion. All right, rolling forward as we take a look at the ES. Let's take a look at the ADX. ADX for market internals hasn't been really pushing back upside, so ADX holding off today from getting any higher. Let's take a look at the 60-minute and 15-minute chart. 60-minute holding within the upper zone. Again, we were looking at the 35 downside. Well, we held to the 39 and right back off the MML here on a 15-minute chart up to the major support resistance. And so overnight, watch for 47 up here, 48, anything back downside, 43.39, all the way back down to 23.28. We'll see if we finish out the Friday there. Well, we'll go ahead and get those numbers out to you early in the right before the U.S. Open. NQ again holding up here, 53.12. Can we go higher? Sure, we can go higher, Jedi traders, but be ready in both directions. As today, 52.92 held, 52.93. That's exactly what we're looking at, and major support resistance right now. So Globex, look to the 53.12 upside again, all the way up to 53.51 downside. We'll look for the reset overnight, but at this point, 52.34 downside. I know a long drive down. Usually don't get those kinds of move in the overnight session. ADX on the market internals, again, all the way up at the highs. Let's take a look at the YM on the ADX and the core charts right there. Overbought 20, 60, 25. Just another line in the sand. ADX way upside there. Major move here. Actually might need to recalculate those numbers on the chart. This ADX usually doesn't push up that high, but there it is. YM on the roll. Key here, though, is momentum. So there we go. 60-minute and 50-minute charts as YM working its way back up to 26.25 after a low down here, 547. Bounces off, major support resistance. Globex, again, look to the 625 upside. Anything downside, look to the 547 at this time. All right, one chart I wanted to pull up as you look at the bars on my charts here every day. You might wonder what's the Heikin Ashi bars all about. Well, let me tell you, this posted out there again. Lots of great references when it comes to candle, but if you gotta make a choice between two candles or a set of candles and Heikin Ashi bars, I prefer the HA bars. They're trend bars. You got a choice in the market when it comes to trend bars. You can use John Carter's TTM. You can use momentum bars. You can use Renko bars. I tend to use Heikin Ashi bars, a combination with Flex Renko, which gives me trend and also the ability to read, are we in trend or are we in indecision? So something you might want to consider when it comes to watching market trend and not just getting in and out, but learning how to ride the wave. And when I talk about riding the wave, that's right. I'm talking about moves like we saw here on the NQ, especially this morning, to the downside, All right, looking to tomorrow on the charts and Econoday. We are looking at leading indicators out in the morning with rigs count in the afternoon. Fed speaker in the evening, so not much impact there on the market. And Monday, as we roll into next week, that's right, Monday, markets close, President's Day, and so things go quiet. So we'll see if the market simply rolls out flat tomorrow or pulls back in anticipation of next week. Hey guys, that concludes an insight into the daily trend, technical momentum of the indices and key futures markets like we do every day. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My mantra, one simple strategy, any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs, and as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts, and always leave your bias at the door when trading. Hey, for those of you that are interested in joining us in our community of like-minded traders seeking those highest probability setups, feel free to email me, David at TradingFibs.com. You may join us on any Thursday or Friday to view the live chart setups as they happen in the trading day. I think I've covered everything for today. We'll see if we get another record high tomorrow or a flat session or a pullback. Hey, every day is a new day in the market. Fresh starts, right? All right, guys, have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Good day, good night, and good trading to ya.